Hey everybody, welcome back to the weekend edition of the Cabral Concept. These are our Cabral HouseCalls. Every single weekend answering 10 to 12 of our community's questions, 5 to 6 on Saturday and another 5 to 6 on Sundays. Appreciate you being a part of this community. It really does mean the world to me. We've been doing this now for over 8 years on the Cabral Concept with over 3,000 shows. You can actually search your question or at least your keyword at stephencabral.com/podcast. Do feel free to always use that as a search database. It will get even better in the future, so definitely stay tuned to the website and /podcasts, because that Ask box will be able to pull directly from shows in the future, not just even share with you the show to get you the exact answer that you're looking for. But if you ever can't find your answer, ask at cabralsupportgroup.com. That's basically same-day answers from our health coaching team. And then, of course, if you do want to come back and you want to get your question read live on the show, do feel free to do so, and that's at stephencabral.com/askcabral. So every single week I open up the document. That's what I'm doing right now that my team sends me. I don't do any prior work on these questions. So basically what I'm doing is I'm giving you my raw answer without going in and doing the finer research for you, which of course, I always lead you to doing so through at-home lab testing, specific protocols, and just second opinions, other ways to think about the problem you may be facing. So let's dive right into the show. First question seems to be from, let's see here, Anonymous. All right. So Anonymous says, and it's a long question, so if you want to read Anonymous's question, go to stephencabral.com/3130. That is today's show notes page. You'll see all the unedited questions right there. Sometimes, believe it or not, they need to be edited just a bit due to length while I'm reading them. All right. So the first one is this. Listen to your podcast on oils. Is it okay to cook with them? And I know they shouldn't be cooked with and they shouldn't be heated. I posted a comment online and got a lot of heat from people saying that seed oils are not healthy. They sent me 30 PubMed research done on people, not animals, also including that they are not so bad, especially sunflower. Their explanation, heating won't be an issue. Canola, sunflower, rapeseed have some of the highest smoke points. Yes, they do produce polar compounds when overheated, but the lesson here is to simply not overheat them. Okay, so basically you're asking, are seed oils dangerous or not dangerous? All right, so what I would say is this, and I've always said this. So in Ayurvedic medicine, they've always used nuts and seeds which have linoleic acid. The problem is that linoleic acid, when overdone or when oxidized, can lead to arachidonic acid. Arachidonic acid then leads to something called eicosanoids, which are leukotrienes, they are prostaglandins, they are thromboxanes, and there's different types of prostaglandins, but there's series 2, the inflammatory ones. What happens is it then leads to inflammation, pain, migraines, headaches, allergies, asthma, etc. And the beginning of disease in the body. So you can get it two ways. Processed meat, especially all conventional based farming and eggs and all that. That's arachidonic acid, lots of it. And then also from polyunsaturated fatty acids like nuts and seeds that are then oxidized and can create more arachidonic acid. So here's the issue, that I don't have an issue with like sunflower seeds and things like that. But what happens is when they are oxidized, and that doesn't just happen, by the way, with heating them. So light oxidizes. When you go down the oil aisle in like your grocery food store, you'll see canola oil and all these things in plastic bottles. And that's because they're lighter and they don't break as much when shipping. And they're clear. And when you expose them to light, they already start to oxidize. The process also uses a high heat method, not a cold processing method for most of these, that also then leads to oxidation. So it's not just the cooking. They're already oxidized through the process before they get to your table for cooking. So while I think that people push too much on these puffs, they are responsible for a lot of these health-based issues as well. In general, we should not be using all of this oil. It is not healthy. Like it's not healthy. Eat nuts and seeds. That can be very healthy. You can have some meat, some eggs, right? Don't go overboard. And also try to have it grass-fed, grass-finished, and pastured. So all of these things are phenomenally well, and then balance it with omega-3s. So actually, I did a whole show, Anonymous, and it was episode 3126. I think you'll like that show from earlier this week. Didn't even know that you'd be asking this question on how this inflammation is created. All right, so good question. All right. Anonymous, but this is a different Anonymous. This person writes, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I recently heard that taking laxatives for over a year can cause nerve damage to parts of the gastrointestinal tract. I wanted to ask if magnesium also carries this risk, particularly oxygenated magnesium like OxyPower or Mag-O7. I've been taking oxygenated magnesium every day since 2020 as it's helpful to some having difficulty with that. I have hyperparathyroidectomy I had a hyperparathyroidectomy for hyperparathyroidism in July 2023. I believe my motility or peristalsis was impacted since at least 2020. I found that motility has improved some, but not enough for me to discontinue this magnesium. I often combine 2 capsules of OxyPower powder with 1 capsule of Equalife full spectrum magnesium every night. Even with this, I often do not have a complete evacuation." Okay, so first things first, what they're really saying isn't necessarily that it damages. I don't believe that you're damaging the nerves, part of the enteric nervous system of the gut. I believe what's happening is that your own peristaltic movement, which moves the stool down your intestines so that you can have a bowel movement, it becomes a bit weak and lax because you're already doing it for it. It's like the old adage in the gym, don't use a weight belt and wrist wraps for everything because your grip will get weaker or it won't become stronger, and your own core won't become stronger as well because you're reliant on the weight belt, okay? So there's actually some good truth to that. So if you're always using a laxative, it doesn't matter what the laxative is, your body is not able then to do it on its own. So here's the issue though. There's actually nothing wrong with taking magnesium. You're taking magnesium oxide, which is different. Magnesium oxide is not as well absorbed. So what happens is you're using that as a laxative. Something like Equilibrium's full spectrum magnesium, it's not a laxative. But what it does is it helps with natural bowel motility because it moves you more to the parasympathetic nervous system. It balances calcium. So it's different. It's actually working with your body, not creating the laxative-based effect. All right, so couple things here. Full spectrum magnesium, typically you want to do 2, maybe even 3 of those per night for overall parasympathetic nervous system effect, and then maybe you'll be able to ease off of some of the OxyPower. Now, some people also use alkalizing vitamin C in the morning upon waking because it helps to move the bowels as well. And then you can do less and less of a dosage of that if you chose to. Okay, but at least you're getting vitamin C, which is beneficial. Magnesium oxide, you're really just using a lot of that. It's not just that, but using a lot of that for as a laxative. All right, let me just give you kind of, that's the, you can be using psyllium husk fiber. There's a lot of great things that you can use. Psyllium husk fiber is not part of the laxative. It's actually part of the fix if you're not getting enough fiber. But let me step back. The best thing that you could do is actually run the gut bundle, which is the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, the bacterium parasite stool test, and the food sensitivity test. If you run those, you actually see what's going on with your gut microbiome. Now you see why there may not be the proper motility to have bowel movements on a daily basis. So ultimately, you want to look at what the root cause is, but in the meantime, I also gave you hopefully some helpful tips. I always do have to say is I can't give you any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis. All right, Lee's up next. "Hi, Dr. C. I'm a male and I'm oftentimes get what feels like hot flashes almost immediately after eating. It feels like the body wants to get rid of what I just ate right away. My testosterone levels are at a 700 when I have them checked, so I don't think that it's low T. It seems like histamine response that's often accompanied by my heartburn and upper GI pain. I do take quercetin and Hispro, but I might only get relief from hot flashes for a short time. When I press against my stomach, right below my sternum and take a deep breath, I can make my stomach gurgle. It's pretty loud and you can do it consistently. Is that normal? Sometimes I get a bit of pain relief doing this, or a bit of pain, relief when doing this, but it may only last a few seconds before the usual discomfort returns. The discomfort is there. Thanks." Okay, happy to help with this as well. So I don't think this has anything to do with testosterone. I've seen this many, many times in my practice. And what happens is oftentimes when people are in a greater state of fight or flight, a greater state of sympathetic nervous system stress, what happens is when we eat, the body is supposed to be shifting into the parasympathetic nervous system where rest, relax, and digestion takes place. It can't take place in fight or flight. So if there's higher levels of stress, We can't then get the proper enzymes and gastric juices in our stomach needed to break down the food. But our body tries to push towards the sympathetic nervous system, but think of it like this. You have one foot on the gas for the sympathetic nervous system, but you don't take the foot off the gas. Instead, you press on the brake. And that's that screeching that you get, and you feel it as maybe the hot flashes, right? The explosion in the body, the vasodilation, right? That the body's trying to create. I've seen this many, many times in my practice. And oftentimes what we need to do is, yes, we can improve digestion with taking digestive enzymes before a meal. That will absolutely help. Take 2 to 3 of the daily digestive enzymes by Equilife. But really what we want to work on is the stress. At least calming that down before a meal, taking deep breaths. I say go for a walk after a meal, but some people need to go for a relaxing walk before the meal. Listen to binaural beats or their favorite comedy or whatever it is to relax their central nervous system. Then sit down, breathe, relax, have your meal. At least see if that works for you. And if it does, if it starts to make a difference, you know that it's more stress-based than anything else. All right? Laura's up next. Laura says, hi, I noticed you listed whole tones in your resource page as your binaural beats go-to. I understand that you need to listen to those over headphones for best results, but whole tones offer speakers with pre-recorded music in specific frequencies. Could you please explain how it works and if it's better with the speaker or over headphones? Can you also provide any free binaural beat resources that works? I would think that probably not from YouTube, but I could be wrong. Thank you for your explanation and help. You're amazing. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. So yes, the binaural beat, the whole tones that I recommend are actually the binaural beats. I have no stake in the company. I don't think we are offered any commission or anything like that. They've just always been kind of my easy go-to. It's like people always ask, what's your recommendation? So I just give one recommendation. And it's a great product that I've used, I don't even know, for at least, who even knows, 10, 12 years, like a long, long time. And they offer speakers now. Now, the truth is, though, they're not binaural beats. Binaural beats only works when you have a frequency going in one ear and a different one going in the other. And those two frequencies move through the two sides of the auditory canals, and they then entrain the brain waves to a certain frequency. That's binaural beats. Okay, when they offer a speaker, it means that it's a single frequency. Now, can it be relaxing? Of course. You know, it's like playing classical music. Classical music works to calm that sympathetic nervous system because of the specific frequencies, right? So it's not that those things can't work, but they're not binaural beats. And I know binaural beats just work better. They just do. And so that's my recommendation. And are there free binaural beats? Absolutely. There are free binaural beats all over YouTube, all over the internet. So start to look at the ones that you feel work great for you. Inside of the Equilife app right now, I don't know if those will always be there, but we offer free binaural beats inside of the app as well. So lots of great resources. And you know what? I might even create a whole free resource page on my website for binaural beats, the ones that we've created. So just let me know if that's of interest to you. Let me know, everybody, in the comments below, and my team can put together our own free resources for that. So again, I love recommending other companies too. I just want you to know Equilife, of course, is our functional medicine integrative health practice, but I recommend over 100 companies doing great work in this industry. I love being able to promote others. All right. One more question for today. Anonymous is up next. Hello, I've had achy teeth, receding gums, and lots of problems. Now it looks like my enamel has chipped off on the tops of the teeth next to the gums. Before you could see some of the roots because of the receding gums, but now there's a lot of it and it's darker than the rest of the teeth. I eat a lot of blueberries. I don't remember if you ever said whether electric toothbrushes are okay or not and what you would recommend for this problem. Thanks in advance. Okay, so there's actually a lot of recommendations. I'll probably do a whole show on this. Why don't I do a whole show on this for receding gums and kind of sensitive teeth or achy teeth? So basically though, as your gums start to recede, you actually can see a line on the enamel. That's not uncommon, but the gums have literally risen up, right? Or lowered down if it's on the bottom of the teeth. That's an issue. Oftentimes this comes from inflammation, lack of certain nutrients like vitamin C, brushing too hard, brushing horizontally instead of brushing the gums down gently. Your toothbrush is too hard when most people should be using a softer toothbrush. You asked about electric toothbrush. Most dentists that I know do recommend a soft electric toothbrush so that you're not brushing yourself too hard. You're allowing the toothbrush to do the work. Having said that, I've gone back and forth with electric toothbrushes and not. I currently just use a regular soft toothbrush, but I think that electric toothbrushes can be excellent, especially for people brushing too hard like I used to do when I was younger and I had really bad receding gums. Here's the nice thing. I go to a holistic dentist and have now for well over a decade, and they've shown that my gums have now are now not receding as much as they used to be when I brushed improperly, brushed too hard. You know, if you're going to do anything, might as go all the way, right? That was my attitude. And it was just too much, right? That wasn't the right thing to do. And they've also found that oil pulling and other things can be very, very beneficial. So why don't I do a whole show just on receding gums and enamel and actually share with you some Ayurvedic herbs and swishes that you can use as well that are excellent. All right. So thank you, Anonymous, for writing in. Appreciate everybody here writing into the show. Really great topics, and I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.